Hey guys, welcome back to Behind the Mic. This session we have Nick Smithberger, who is on Ghost Rider as Seifer.
Hi, everybody.
Hello. Now we already have you introduced. Tell us about why you like to do voice acting.
All honesty, it was you came up to me and you say you were doing this, and that you weren't getting many auditions, and I was like, oh, okay, I can help you out. And then when I did, I actually had a little fun with it. And then when you gave me the role of Cypher, was kind of excited that I was going to do this for a while.
Now you kinda knew about the story before, or at least you had read it at a point, so you sort of knew what it was.
Yeah, yeah. Well, as you know, it's based off of your fanfic that you wrote. Started I forget how many years ago, but
I
yeah,
think I was like 16, 17 when I wrote that. So,
yeah, man, you were a youngin' back then. But yeah, you read that, and I would just glimpse through it, and then you just really took off, and I wasn't able to keep up. So, but I knew the basics of it because you talked to me about it all the time.
now, you and I know this, but I don't know if how many others know this, that this is not our first stuff together. We've done a lot of stuff together in the past.
Right. That actually I invited you for one of my studios or my studio, Pirates Eat Bacon,
Hmm.
and where me and a couple other me and a couple of my friends, so we just made silly little videos just about random stuff. We try to keep the theme of like video games, and then we invited you. I think your first actual appearance was in Final Fallacy, correct?
Final Fantasy Disc 1 was my first acting appearance.
Yes. And that was actually one of our biggest roles and our second favorite video series.
Hmm.
First
I,
one is, for some reason, The Human Cocoon.
yeah, I have no idea. Maybe people think it's like a scientific video or something.
Yeah, or it's just people think it's the sequel for The Human Centipede, which that's what we were trying to make a joke of.
Oh. Now, I was asked by you to join Pirates of Bacon and by Joe Clark actually. He gave the offer once when during I met him at a point during I think like one of your scouts thing, and he said, "Oh, hey, you should come do some chores with us."
Yeah, maybe. I think, yeah. I don't know about that, but I do know that I think yeah, Joe asked you about it. Or I think I was actually Ben, maybe.
In either case, I was on Final Fantasy, and the second one was my first big editing role.
Yeah, because I didn't want to do editing. I had to do the editing for the first one. I'm like, oh, I do not like this.
No, especially since we had to recreate the boxes and text was the battles were annoying. The text was worse.
Yeah. And you see, you got out of it. You did like the Final Fantasy 13, oh, there's no box. I did the little blue box thing, and that was annoying, making it pop up at the right time.
Yeah. Oh, I felt the boxes obscured too much vision, especially in certain shots that were kind of low to the ground for some reason. So when the blue box was when I added the blue box to some of the shots originally,
Hmm.
but after I looked at them, they really obscured a lot of the shot. So I just said, I just don't think this is going to work. So I took away the blue box and decided to do it like Final Fantasy 13, just simple text across the screen, which I think it really worked better off in the end.
Yeah.
But yeah, we've worked on
Yeah,
Final
I did.
Fantasy,
I wanted to play a little bit more old school.
and then we attempted, and I mean attempted, to dub Kingdom Hearts.
Yeah, that was my first actual. Wait, no, that was my second time I've actually ever tried voice acting. The first time was when we did the commentary for Final Fantasy.
Right, yeah, we did. It's up there. We did a commentary for Final Fantasy Disc 2. We did a lot of commentaries in a row,
Yeah, and
actually.
then I think we did a commentary for Disc 3.
Hmm. And right after I was enamored with my success for on Edge of Time and how much fun I had to do with it, I decided, what if we did some other things? And we did Kingdom Hearts. And I asked you, or I can't remember really how it went down, if I asked you or you asked me. Either way, one of us got interested and you ended up being Ansem.
Um, You asked me if I wanted any roles, and then I told you I just didn't want any. I just whatever roles that were left over, and then of course you had Ansem, and then I also tried out for Captain Hook and Oogie Boogie.
Right, yeah, I actually get both of those, I thought. Yeah. I keep forgetting about them because it never really appeared,
Yeah.
sadly. Well, we stay away from that for a while, and then I did a few more voice projects for a few years, and then I decided to do my own, and now we have Ghost Rider.
Mm-hmm.
You you auditioned for quite a few characters, but were you aiming in particular to get Seifer, or did it not really matter to you?
For my auditions, if I remember correctly, I auditioned for 3 people: Waka, Mephisto, and Seifer.
Yes, that's correct.
For Waka, you said that you weren't that you only had maybe 1 or 2 auditions for that,
Mm-hmm.
and so I tried out on that one just to in case you needed the extra voice, I could just been there.
Yeah, it's always nice to have something to at least compare to.
Mephisto, you had a couple one, and that one I was kind of interested in because I like playing the bad guy roles. And then Seifer, that was kind of like a backup one, and then it's combination of the two. It's like, ooh, I can be a bad guy, and then also with the you only had one other person.
At the time, yes, Seifer only had one audition, right? And then you auditioned, and then somebody else auditioned, like got 2 more afterwards, so that one
Yeah,
got kind of filled up.
yeah, I stirred the pot.
So you weren't originally aiming to get Seifer at all?
I was just trying out, just let the chips let the chips fall where they may.
Hmm. Now that you have Seifer, I mean, what do you think about it? I mean, he's not a traditional bad guy villain. I guess he's more of a tortured villain, that kind of fallen hero kind of deal.
Yeah, he's kind of like he's like the bad guy where if you just run into him, it's like, oh, he's just a jerk. But if you find out about his backstory, it's kind of like, oh, okay, maybe he can be like an anti-hero or something. But now it's just kind of like he's kind of going the wrong way and one of those deals.
Hmm. Now, we're on season 2, and now Seifer has his full-fledged appearance as Vanitas.
Yep.
How would you compare to how he was in season 1 to now season 2?
He's more, for lack of a better word, like open. Because in season 1, he was kind of really, he didn't really want to be he didn't want to be like Ghost Rider where he just kind of stuck out and it was just like big and news. He just kind of wanted to work in the shadows behind the curtains and just like fix everything from there. But that wasn't working for him. But now he's doing bigger. Like, he breaks into a prison,
Hmm.
which I still have, problems with. And yeah, bring into the prison, and then he's actually taunting Ghost Rider, and he's acting way different in the first one, which is kind of interesting to play out as.
So, would you say that season 2 is more of his... You're saying he's open, for lack of a better term, more open. Do you think that this is actually Seifer, or is he just putting on an act?
I don't know if Seifer knows who Seifer is. All honesty, I think he's kind of like what you said earlier, like the tortured villain or the broken hero. That this might be a way for him to see as a solution, but we don't know if this is actually him or not.
So you think that not even Seifer knows who he is. He has this image in his head of who he thinks he is, but it's not always playing out in everyone else's eyes.
Correct. Or if
So,
it's playing out right, it's if it plays out right in his head, it might give off different vibes to different people.
so you say you like playing bad guys. What do you like better? Do you like the villain with a reasonable backstory, or do you like a villain that just destroys things for the heck of it?
I actually like both for different reasons. Well, the bad guy with the, destroys things for no reason, they're kind of more fun because it's you get to play around, like, it's, oh, you don't know his backstory, you don't know this, you don't know that, you kind of can be like, oh, I can do any kind of voice, like you can be like angry and you don't say
It's
why, or you could be like, Joker-like.
yeah, kind of like the Joker. I mean, even though you've already had many actors in his past who gave the sound that you want to here now, he's such a character that you cannot help but have fun playing as because he's just
Yeah,
that
like those
chaotic.
characters, like, you have no backstory, you basically have no reins to follow through. Now with ones with backstories, they're kind of fun because you can experiment to see if you could try to be those villains. Like with Seifer, he has well, he wrote on the Facebook that his dad was basically a corrupt man, and then he went to jail, and the Seifer tried to become a hero, but it wasn't working out. So now he has turned into Vanitas. So it's kind of interesting working out as like the broken hero that's now a villain. So that's kind of fun in that aspect. But I like playing, like I said, I generally like playing the villains. They're always fun to play around as.
With regards to Seifer, do you think there's a chance that he's going to become even worse as the series progresses? Or is he going to stay here with this kind of very loose sense of honor and acting, or is he just going to get even worse as the series progresses?
With Seifer, all honesty, we just going to have to see because it's other interactions. Because if Seifer just basically just vanishes, he'll stay what he is now. But with interactions with Ghost Rider or Vincent or even Fu, that can all change him. It's for better or worse, I don't know, but there will be. But I have a sense that he's going to change further down in the series.
Now, for the most part, for all of season one, all your lines, you and I recorded together, and we had a few of them to get actually together, where I played Ansem, where I played Sora.
Yeah.
Do you like that kind, to be able to play off someone, or do you feel like you can do your best stuff by yourself?
Well, for season one, I didn't have my own mic, and I really never been able to play on my own, so it's going to be interesting to see how I do. But I really did have a lot of fun, playing off with you doing for our scenes, especially the Sora and Seifer scene, and I believe it was the last.
It was the last episode, episode 11.
Yeah, last episode of season one. That one I had a lot of fun with because we actually really got into the roles.
Yeah, I mean, if you had a camera, we weren't sitting in front of our computers. We were standing in the room, actually kind of acting our parts out. I mean, we had the script in our hands and such for guideline, but the one scene where Seifer throws him against the wall, I mean, we were trying to do it, and I said, could I try to throw you against the wall, or just kind of grab you?
Yeah, that was fun because I don't know if you guys know this, but I have like 6 inches on mic, and it's it's just funny seeing that.
Yeah, I mean, it's not like I want to visually be able to translate, but I think it really helped get that scene where he's like, "You shit! How could you make me do this? How could you, make me a monster?" And then you got to push me away and all that kind of deal.
Yeah, it was kind of interesting because it was like you gotta live the role. You gotta live the role, and so you actually gotta get more in depth into your voice instead of just reading a script.
Mm-hmm. With getting in depth for your role, I mean, Seifer has technically only had one known actor, and that was Will Friedle for Kingdom Hearts 2. Now, as we both know, you don't sound like Will Friedle. Do you think this hinders you, or do you think you're able to build a stronger performance making your own mark?
Well, that just really depends, because like diehard Kingdom Hearts fan, or diehard fans of Seifer might, they might automatically just put the voice with Seifer, and if you're not that, you're not that. But if people who are maybe more open-minded and just see how he progressed, they might be more, they might be more open to see how I am.
Mm-hmm. You had comments in the first episode of season 2. Someone thought that everyone was well acted, and he thought that you did a good job as Vanitas.
Yeah, Vanitas was interesting because you had that voice alterator on,
mm-hmm.
and you basically told me that I had to just because you told me to try to be Seifer, but also try to give a personality that is just like Vanitas to kind of separate the two.
Mm-hmm.
And that's kind of been interesting to play around with. It's like, who is exactly how is Vanitas different from Seifer? Because for you play Sora, and then you have
Wooten as the Ghost Rider.
Yeah, you have Wooten play the Ghost Rider. So you have 2 physical different actors playing different sides, and then for me, I'm just the one guy, and so it's kind of like, Do I want to try to put Vanitas more evil? Do I want to make him more like goofy? Do I want to make him more of a flirt? We don't know, but it's just it's kind of interesting because it's like I get to play with another character, but I also can just revert him back to being Seifer if I want to.
Yeah.
So it's like I have a safety net.
And for the Vanitas voice, we knew we didn't want him to still sound like Seifer because otherwise, someone's like, "Hey, Seifer, what the hell's with the outfit? I mean, I know you're not. I know you think of Daft Punk, but seriously."
Yeah, I remember I made it very clear to you I'm not wearing a skirt.
No, and I didn't want you to wear a skirt. I didn't want Seifer to wear a skirt either. So when we created the Vanitas voice and I went it over with you, one of the inspirations for the voice was a particular effect used for the Lich King from World of Warcraft.
Oh yeah, I did really like. I did like that voice. Yeah, because I used to play WoW, and Wrath of the Lich King was probably one of my favorite expansions on it. And so it was kind of like cool. It's like, oh, I get to have part of the Lich King voice.
And the particular bit of the Lich King is that when you hear the Seifer or Vanitas talking, there's that like an echoey kind of sound, like there's somebody else trying to talk.
Yeah, that's kind of interesting because as you guys watched in the first season, that Seifer's powers actually comes from Ansem, and so I'm not saying that Ansem is in there. But we could say that, maybe this isn't purely just Seifer or just a normal Seifer. This might be, demons bubbling below.
Mm-hmm. And we created, actually, that effect are your lines slowed and reversed.
Mm-hmm.
We slowed the tempo, lowered... No, we did not lower the pitch on that one. I didn't lower the pitch on that one. I kept the pitch normal, slowed the voice down, and reversed it. So it's all your lines kind of being spoken backwards, slowed down.
Mm-hmm.
So that's kind of why, in particular scenes where if you yelled or raised your voice as Vanitas, there would be that spike because it was picking up the one time where you rose your voice as Vanitas.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it's always interesting when you can do the voice alterations because it's like it's just kind of fun to hear. In all honesty.
So, you have this, do you like, you said you like playing villains. I mean, do you want to continue playing villains more in the future, or are you interested in all playing a hero or two?
Well, I don't like, I'm interested in playing more villains, like maybe different kinds. Heroes I'm not exactly turned off by, but I don't want to be like...
you don't want to be the typical shonen kind of...
Well, I don't want to be like Vash, all honesty. Well, I don't mind like being the Joker or whatever. Well, I mean, if I'm interested in playing the person, I'll try it out. But I usually have more fun playing as a villain.
All right. Thank you for sitting down and talking to us about your role in the series and your role as Seifer and what you think about him.
All right. Thank you for interviewing me.
And we're going to be hearing you a lot more as Season 2 progresses. We're working on Episode 3. And we'll get to see if Seifer remains as he is or if he becomes even worse as the series goes.
Yeah.
Thank you guys for joining us for Behind the Mic again. Keep on the watch for more Ghost Rider and Sky stuff, as well as more Behind the Mic interviews. Goodbye, everyone.
Goodbye.